Hi, I'm Dave Jarvinen, and this is Mosaic Arts Online. In this online course, we will be exploring depth with the use of materials. The Circle of Light is designed to explore depth and dimension with the use of materials and was developed as part of a series to help students look at basic materials in a different light. Today we will focus on using clear glass and glass tiles. Understanding materials is fundamental to creative growth. As we work with one, we often have secondary ideas of how we could use it in conjunction with what we are creating in some totally different way. And that is the driving force for understanding. Keep trying new things. As you work through this project, think about how it would add value to your creativity and to your art. Now here are some of the tools, materials for this online course. There's a full PDF with a downloadable list of all the tools, materials, and resources to create this project. So let's get started.
David, thank you so much for coming to Mosaic Arts Online again. It's so exciting to have you here.
You are welcome, and thank you for inviting me again.
Yes, I'm excited to share this project with everyone. But before we get started on how this project came about, give me a quick background on you and how you got started in mosaics.
Believe it or not, it was tile contracting, so if you don't think you're an artist, you don't have to be. But 30 years of that, and then got involved with some clay artists about halfway through that career. Installed for them, learned about mosaics that way, and then through our supplies for our tile supply, we resourced materials and started working with those and teaching classes, and just morphed through there. Now it's been about 15 years, and just been trying new things. The emphasis is on tools and materials from me, so that you can understand those and then have confidence to create art. You don't have to focus on that because you have that already. So.
Well, and I think that's sort of your motto is materials. You really have a creative and inventive way of using materials. No one else I see doing quite this sort of style. There is glass on glass out there, but you can explain to everybody how this starts. You have these custom bases made custom, and then we have this circle of clear glass, and you get to this in the online course. But explain how it became this double-sided thing, which is really different and really does go into the depth of materials.
Well, just like everything we do, it just kind of morphed from an idea working with the stained glass shop. So we're trying to come up with ideas to incorporate our tiles with their glass. And so we started doing some glass things with just not so much to hang in a window, but to let, even when they hang by a wall, there's still a space and light comes from behind. And so that made the tiles brighter. And it just was a nicer effect. And we thought, oh, well, if we can do it that way, let's try this and let's try this. And so we did one side, and we said, well, if we can do one side, we can do both. And then, so the mission is to kind of keep it a third, and a third, you know, keep it open. And, and you mentioned this was custom, but this is actually a commercial base. And so that's in the resources, and you get it online. And I think there's some square ones available too, if you can look a little farther. This is custom cut, and the directions on how to get those is there. If you're a glass cutter, you should be able to cut one yourself.
But they can order it just like this.
Yes, they have to probably source locally or a stained glass shop or something. A little specialty, but not too hard to get. And then if you wanted to, you could even go square. And like in this one here, we made a custom base, and it's out of some Weedy board. And then we just put a slot in it. You could do it with wood. You could do it with a brick. You could do it with slate. You could do it with a lot of things. And then we just finished it off, and we sat it in there. And so the whole thing works as a whole unit. So if you couldn't find the stand, or for some reason you want to be different, this is a great option to do. So
well, and just so everyone sees, this is two-sided as a mosaic. So there is mosaic on this side, and then there is mosaic on this side. And David shares a lot of techniques of how to make this work so you don't see the backside of tiles that maybe shouldn't be seen. And then there's other ones you do want to see through because they are slightly transparent. So this is a really fun, different, again, inventive, creative. I love it. I would never have thought of this. A lot of people do glass on one side, hang it on a window, but this is doing both sides, and like you said, and leaving a third open just to have clear glass show through.
Yeah, and you could, I mean, once you do this, your mind will open up and you'll think of different things that
Right.
can be done in different ways. You can use it in your own art, and that's what we want to strive for anyhow.
Yeah,
so.
and the materials are really accessible as well. So,
Yes.
and maybe already in people's studios, stained glass or just these small glass tiles, the beads. Once again, a really achievable project, something a beginner can do or someone that's more advanced. But
And we find even experienced people, because usually they're kind of set in their way of creating, that when they come across a new way, they're almost a beginner too. You know, they might have nipping skills and that kind of stuff, but when it comes to the fundamentals, they're still kind of a beginner too. So it's interesting that way. So
well, I hope you enjoy this course. I think it's a really fun and creative way. Can be great for making gifts. And thank you again for coming.
You're welcome. Thank you, and thank you.